it's going to be a while until you play. Do you envision a day like today is coming to kind of get you through the period until you are able to play in the third week in September?
Yeah, no, definitely. Visualization is a large part of success, especially when you have a long plan ahead of you, as I did in returning to the field at a physical state which I could be effective, and that was going to take some time. So, day by day, just visualizing, moments like this, what what the grass feels like, what it feels like to run, all these little things, definitely played a part in confidently returning.
Right up front, Lindsay.
Harrison, you had kind of a few reactions going around the bases. Could you kind of walk us through sort of the progression of your thoughts as you're running at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I try to show as little emotion as possible, just to remain composed, and you like to kind of bottle up emotion to, propel yourself forward. And outs are really hard to come by, so, kind of letting it out, I think, would detract from, anything that might come later in the game. But it was really hard when everybody was cheering, admittedly, and it was a great moment, and I enjoyed it. And again, as soon as it was over, it's right back to locking in. There was a lot of game left at that time, so obviously I was up next to go and play on defense. That was my only focus as soon as I kind of let the roller coaster kind of play its course.
Third row on your left here.
Harrison, how important was it to answer back immediately in the bottom of the inning, Quan's homer?
It's tremendously important. You can do it offensively, you can do it defensively, you can do it on the mound. Momentum is really big in these games. Taking care of the baseball is really big in these games. And answering back kind of shifts momentum. We saw some good defensive plays that Ozzie made, couple, double plays that allowed us to retain the momentum. So, I think momentum plays a large part in it, and it's up to whoever's, attacking aggressively to try to shift it the best you can.
On your far right, John.
How did the emotion of getting to start center field for the Yankees in a playoff game here compare to what you might have been expecting or, growing up?
Yeah, I mean, it was everything I expected it to be. I prepared myself for it mentally. It's an atmosphere that I'm very familiar with in terms of I've been present, here. I haven't obviously been on the field, but, I do understand what it means to be successful here, and I do understand, the mental side, especially this is my fourth playoff and fourth postseason appearance. So, every time I like to think that the experience, you just get better and better. So, there's a lot of emotion, there's no doubt, but it's all noise, and I'm just fortunate that I've had a lot of people, namely my parents, my friends, and a lot of people that have helped me get here to channel that, energy appropriately and understand how to use it properly to be successful and not get distracted, because it's very easy. So, it's a team effort at all times.
Third row on your right, Randy.
The one run that you guys manufactured tonight, Judge gets a walk, still second, goes to third. You knew coming here about his homers. You probably knew he was a complete player, but has his base running surprised you at all? I think he was second on the team in steals. It doesn't get thrown out. What do you think about him as a base stealer?
It doesn't surprise me at all. I've been around a lot of good base stealers, many of which have not been fast. Paul Goldschmidt, Yadier Molina, all guys who are very calculating, and they pick their spots because they're prepared and they do their homework, and Judge is all the same. You mentioned him being a complete player. Well, he is for those reasons right there. His athletic ability to go into second base hard, recover, and then ultimately get to third. I mean, it just puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense and the pitching staff to control runs with, runners on third and less than 2 outs. And then, obviously, again, the kind of momentum shift, and they kind of had to come in the zone because it was top of the order, and Rizzo did a really good job of just putting a good, solid swing on the baseball. So, again, these games, these scenarios come down to taking care of the baseball, not giving away outs, not giving away extra bases, because everything has an effect. And it's not to say you have to be perfect. It's just, when things happen, you now have to, a new situation is presented, and you have to, adjust accordingly.
The second row on your left, Harrison.
For that to have been your first homer as a Yankee and to come in a moment like this, what does it mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot. To me, truthfully, it really was just another at-bat, another game. I truly do like to play the game emotionless, as I was taught at the University of Florida from my coach, Brad Weitzel, who would always say, just, be the baseball, play the baseball. The baseball has no emotion. It doesn't take into account the situation. It doesn't take into account how many fans are in the stands. It is totally emotionless. So I try to act that way. However, when I do think about it for a second, it does mean a lot to my parents. My dad's dad was a very big Yankees fan, so I'm sure he would be very proud of this moment. So, when I think about all those things are very nice, but there's such a long road ahead in October, ultimately into November, that I will save all of those emotions for a later date. But there's no doubt it's special. I will acknowledge that for a second.
And standing on your right, Joel.
Harrison, you mentioned how important it is not to give up extra bases. The ball you cut off in the top of the third before you even hit the home run that keeps Rosario from scoring. On a play like that, are you literally thinking to yourself as you're running, this ball can't even get to the warning track, I've got to get it, kind of go through your mindset of that play?
Yeah, sure. As soon as it was hit, I knew the speed of the runners on the bases. Rosario it has really good speed, as does Jose out of the box. So I knew once it was hit that he was going first to third, and I knew once it was hit he was going from first to second. That wasn't really my concern. My concern was, again, like you mentioned, preventing the ball from getting to the warning track and just getting it in as quickly as possible, which once you transition the ball into the infielder, it normally shuts down the third base coach. And especially in that situation, they had some outs to play with. They didn't need to necessarily be, forcing something, if you will. So everything is just timing. Everything is preparation. So as I'm running, my only focus was just getting the ball in as quickly as possible. And IK did a really good job of transitioning and coming up ready to make a throw. Listen, again, all these little things will come down to, all these little situations will come down to, little plays like that. And I'm just happy that I got an opportunity to make a good play for my team, and the pitching delivered.
Fourth row on your right.
Harrison, whether it was when you were a kid or during your visualization stuff that you talked about, how many times have you imagined yourself hitting a postseason home run at Yankee Stadium?
It's not so much the result that I focus on. It's more like the feeling of the swing as I step in the box, the timing of getting ready to hit. Those are the things that really help in visualization to produce good results. So, like I said, it's very easy to be distracted on wanting to be a hero, wanting to hit a big home run, wanting to go out and do something. And quite frankly, in my experience, although it's not as long as some of the guys in there, in my experience, not letting the game come to you will get you into trouble. So, the visualization, I guess, comes from, just the constant repetition in just thinking in the dugout or thinking before the game of just all those things to just be ready as soon as you see that ball in that certain spot to just allow it to take over. So, again, I'm just happy that came up for us, and I'm looking forward to doing it as often as I can moving forward. And as you're rounding the bases, do you allow yourself to kind of hear the stadium, or does everything, go numb for you in that moment? No, yeah, no doubt. I absolutely took that in. That was great. The energy from the fans, it was just amazing. When you have such an incredible fan base, fans that are just rabid and want to win as badly as Yankees fans do, it's almost like you're playing with them on the field, and they're on your team as you go into the dugout. As the opposition feels pressure with 2 strikes, that's the type of energy that is a part of a winning history of a city. And the fans showed up game 1, and it's gonna be a long road, but I know that they're gonna be there the entire time, so I'm just looking forward to it.
Nathan on your right, standing.
Harrison, I know it's your 4th straight playoffs, but first as a Yankee, and I think 4 of your teammates tonight were making their postseason career debuts. IK and Trevi, Oswaldo, Wandy. How would you describe just the atmosphere established by the veterans in that clubhouse that allowed you guys to go out and have a good game tonight and all contribute to the victory?
Yeah, that's the spine, of everything I got going on here. That's the foundation. Experience is tremendously important. There's no doubt about it. Having been there at some point, having felt it, having messed up, having succeeded, having this just roller coaster of emotions through experience that you gain in this game, regular season, postseason, World Series, whatever it might be, it allows guys who haven't been there before to kind of lean on you. And that's what I experienced over in St. Louis with Yachty, with Waino. Those guys carried us because of their experience. You can say the same thing about the veterans in this clubhouse. And this wasn't just tonight. This has been in the making all regular season, as there have been ups and downs. And again, it's just really important to focus that it is the same exact game. There might be a little bit of noise, but it's the same exact game. We have the same exact ability, and we take the same exact preparation and going out there and winning a baseball game. There's nothing on that field that anybody in that clubhouse hasn't seen or felt before. So when you have that, especially when things go and get tough, which they will, no doubt, it's nice to have veterans to lean on, for sure.
Far back on your left, Ed.
Did you have any flashbacks to your time as a little kid, either in the stands here or perhaps across the street, leading into the game tonight or perhaps before the game?
You know, I really just try to separate the two. Again, a lot of that stuff will just kind of, it's very easy to get emotional and just, it pulls you out of what you're trying to do. You know, I definitely remember the level of excitement I felt, fans standing up, you know, when the other team had 2 strikes on them. It was just a constant energy factor, I guess, if you will. And, you know, since I was a young kid, I say maybe 20 years ago, I started coming to Yankee Stadium. I mean, nothing's changed, so it's definitely nice to see that.
Second row on your right.
Harrison, just what kind of family and friend presence did you have here tonight?
I mean, I feel badly. My parents and my sister are here, but all my friends are here. But I didn't respond to any of their text messages because we had stuff to do today. But they definitely showed up. There's no doubt, and they're going to continue to show up, as my teammates, friends, and families will. And that's what this is about. This isn't just about, you know, the person that gets to put the uniform on. There's just a massive team behind us who love us, who support us every single day. And, when you have that behind you, it makes it a lot easier to go out there and play some ball.
Any idea what the head count was?
Triple digits for sure.
We'll go to Barry. First row here. Sorry.
Thanks. Hey, Harrison. So just piggybacking, did you attend playoff and World Series games at the old stadium?
I was a part of some playoff games, yeah.
Do you remember in the 90s?
It was
anything in particular?
When the Yankees went on their run in 2009, I went to some of those games.
Oh, so you're that young, huh?
I mean, I don't know about baseball years. I'm getting there.
Yeah. We'll go to your right, and then Ron.
That's a suit. Yeah.
Appreciate you. Just playing behind Garrett tonight. What did you see from him after he was able to strand the bases loaded in that third?
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously I have a really good view of the strike zone. I have a really good view of what they're trying to do. I have an understanding of what they're trying to do, and he did a really good job of controlling the zone. Obviously he gave up the home run, but after that, I mean, he was nails with multiple pitches, made big pitches, kept the ball down. And that's the type of stuff that fuels the offense. And you hate to put more pressure on the starting pitching, but that is the reality of it. And that's why those guys get paid the way they do, because of that energy, because of that ability to lock in and make big pitches in big situations, which is exactly what he did. So it's awesome playing, behind him. Obviously, this is my first experience in doing it, but from afar, I've seen him work, and I'm just happy to be a part of his success tonight.
I'll go Joel and then Ron.
Harrison, again, just because you didn't play for the first 7 weeks you were with the Yankees, and at the same time Jordan Montgomery was playing well, did you feel internally at all that there would be a need to validate and show everyone this is why they got me? And does that make today feel any better along the way?
Yeah, that's a great question. The human element involved in that question, yeah, sure. There's no doubt. Anytime there's a Major League Baseball game going on, I want to validate myself. I want to play hard. I want to show my teammates. I want to show myself. I want to show, my parents are in the stands. I want to show them all why I earned that uniform. There's no doubt. However, the flip side of that, the more professional side, the reality of the situation was that I wasn't ready to play. And if I was going to force playing, if I was chasing that exact emotion, it wouldn't have been a version of myself that it would have been effective for myself or for my teammates. And coping with that reality allowed me to just continue to work. There was a tremendous staff in there who was helping me every day get back to the field. And the biggest thing is I'll be ready to play when I'm ready to play, and when I'm healthy. And that takes time, but I can assure you is absolutely worth it. And they did a really good job. The Yankees, medical staff did a really good job of just mapping out the timeline, and the communication was excellent. And, now we're in a position where I feel great, and we're in the postseason, and I got, everything to look forward to. So yeah.
Ron in the second row.
As you break out of the batter's box after hitting it, you're just focused on getting to first? Did you see the ball go over the fence?
Yeah, Judgy told me I ran a little too fast. You just, again, baseball's a game of repetition. When you make contact, I was aware there was a home run. But, again, anything can happen. Who knows? So you just, you want to just put your head down and run. You play the game hard. You play the game respectfully. And then obviously once I saw it go out, then I slowed it down a little bit. But, talking about Judgy, he's hit so many towering home runs. As soon as he clips it, he knows he's got it. Sometimes I haven't hit a home run in a long time, so I got to work back into it. I'm easing my way back into it.
And you said you felt the energy going through your head. What are the thoughts going through your head as you're circling the bases there?
Just make sure you touch every base. Truthfully, one task at a time. Once you touch all the bases, then you can kind of give a little love to the fans. Nice little handshake with Judgy. Give your teammates some love, but one at a time.